Namaste, students. Today's topic is called Relevancy of Character, section 52 to 55. The question you please take down: explain the relevancy of character evidence under Indian Evidence Act. Another question: discuss the provisions relating to character evidence. So the main question, how much you have to write the answer. So the topic is relevancy of character, section 52 to 55. Now, what is the meaning of character? What is the meaning of the word character? Character can be analyzed as the attitude, the behavior, the conduct of a person. Generally, we will say that the person is a good character personality, or he is a bad charactered person, he is a good man or a bad man. We analyze like this. So, let us understand the relevancy of character in the civil cases and also in the criminal cases. First, we will understand the relevancy of character in civil cases. According to section 52, in civil cases, the character is not at all relevant. Is not relevant. So, Author Singh gives two examples for this. The first case is Attorney General versus Bowman, 1791. There was a shop owner. He was having the scale, pan, weights, to weigh the products, to weigh the goods. One day, an officer entered the shop to examine the pan, the scale, the weights, and the officer verified it and found that duplicate or the bogus, that is scales and weights are there. So naturally, in those days, it was a civil case. And the civil case has been filed against the shop owner. And the shop owner, he produced evidence. He called his friends, relatives to the court of law to speak about his good character. And the court refuses. They says, no, this is a civil case. Whether you are a good character or a bad charactered personality, we are not going to give any validity to your character. In civil case, we will analyze only the evidences and nothing else. Right? Another case, Hollington versus Hathorne and Company Limited, 1943. This is the case of a negligent driving of a vehicle carelessly. Here, the driver, when he was, the civil case has been filed against him for careless driving, he tried to produce evidences about his good character. He wants to show to the court, I am a sincere man, I am a honest man, I will not drive the car carelessly. But the court said, no, we are not going to accept the proof of your good character. We hereby reject it. We are going to give the judgment on the basis of evidence, and here this is a civil case and we are not going to entertain the proof of your good character. Okay, so two simple cases. So what you have understood now, in civil cases, the proof of character is irrelevant, is useless. But there are two exceptions. In civil cases, there are two exceptions, and where the proof of character is relevant. First point. Damages means money compensation. Under the law of torts, you have studied, tort is a civil wrong which can be redressed by means of money compensation. So whenever there is a question to decide about the amount of money compensation, then the proof of character plays an important role. The proof of good character may increase the amount of compensation, and the proof of bad character will considerably reduce the amount of compensation. Here is a case, Scott versus Sampson, 1882. I think we all know the lives of some of the television heroines, some of the cinema heroines, and in those days of 1882, there were drama performed by men and women. There were heroes of drama and heroines of drama. So, there was a journalist. In those days also, there was yellow journalism. There was a journalist. He was very, very cunning, greedy, selfish, exploitative in nature. He has secured some secrecies in the life of the heroines. He started blackmailing them. He started collecting money from them by threatening to disclose their secrecies to the world. So what happened? Many heroines became victims to this journalist, and they simply were shelling out their hard-earned money to this journalist. So, we will simply call it, for our easy analysis, J1. We will call him, that bad journalist, as J1. This was going on. Then comes into picture another journalist who is very sincere, honest, who is a good human being. We will call him as J2, just for our easy analysis. So, J2 is a sincere, honest journalist. He was watching the exploitation by J1, and he decided, I should not allow the heroines to be exploited by this unscrupulous journalist. So, J2 started writing an article of exploitation against Mr. J1. Later, that insincere, bad, dirty-minded J1 files the case against sincere journalist J2, saying, "You have destroyed my name, my fame, my image in the society. You have defamed my name. I want you to pay me the compensation." So what are the facts? One bad journalist files the case against another sincere journalist under defamation and demanding compensation, demanding damages. What happened? The sincere journalist produced all the proofs of bad character of the plaintiff. He produced, and the court was satisfied with all the evidences, and the court said, "Here is a bad journalist. He has taken a very bad name. He is doing only the dirty jobs. He has exploited many heroines. He don't have any name, any fame, any image. There is no loss to his identity. So, he don't deserve any amount of compensation. His bad character destroys the right to secure money compensation." Okay, so this is the Scott versus Sampson, 1882. Now another second exception in civil case, character is relevant when the character is the main matter of contention between the plaintiff and the defendant. That we call it as fact in issue. When the proof of character is very, very relevant to the fact in issue, then there is relevancy to the word character. I think all of you know that there is a saying, marriages are made in heaven and divorces are made in the court. You know, there is a saying. Either a male or a female, either the husband or the wife, have the right to demand divorce. Divorce is a civil case. One of the reasons for demanding the divorce, for example, cruelty. One of the reasons for demanding divorce is cruelty. Cruelty indicates bad character. Right? So, in a divorce case, the husband or the wife claims cruelty from the opposite spouse. If they produce as proof of cruelty in the court of law as a proof of bad character, then such a proof is very, very relevant. I'd like to give one small illustration here. One wife asked her husband, "Give me a jewel." One wife, the wife asked her husband, "Give me a jewel as a gift." The husband said, "Today I will give you the gift." So in the night he came, he just tied her hand, and he brought a burning cigarette. I'm using the word burning cigarette. And he pierced the cigarette here in this manner. So he has garlanded the wife with the burning of the cigarette. Now you tell me, that wife goes to the court of law, files the case, and demands the court, "Give me the divorce from my husband. He is a cruel husband." Now what is the proof? She has shown the medical report, that is the presence of cigarette burnt garland on her chest. So this is a relevant evidence to prove the bad character of the husband. And definitely the court is going to accept that proof, and she will be given the divorce. Right? So far we have understood. So in civil cases, the relevancy of character. Now we will go to the relevancy of character in criminal cases. Relevancy of character in criminal cases. Here I have written one sentence. In criminal cases, the proof of good character of the accused is very, very relevant. You know that criminal law wants to give benefit to the accused. So, an accused of a crime can come to the court of law and he can produce evidences about his good character. He can produce. So the proof of good character is very, very relevant in criminal cases. The court is going to accept it, and it is going to acquit or it is going to reduce the punishment considerably. Now the question is, in criminal cases, what is the relevancy of bad character? In criminal cases, what is the relevancy of bad character? In criminal cases, general rule is the proof of bad character is not relevant. Better not to accept the proof of bad character. It will have an impact on the mind of the judges. So not to accept the proof of bad character in criminal cases. So the criminal law wants to give benefit to the accused. That's why they accept the proof of good character. But the proof of bad character, they reject in criminal cases. But there are two exceptions. There are three, but I'm going to give only two exceptions. So there are two exceptions in criminal law where bad character is very, very relevant. What are those? First exception. To rebut proof of good character, to rebut the proof of good character. I'd like to give a small, simple illustration. Consider a thief. The case is filed against a thief, and he tells I am very, very good charactered person. I am honest, I am sincere, I have friends here, I have relatives here. Okay, he brings all of them, and he produced proof of his good character. Because in criminal law, proof can be accepted of the good character of the accused. When the proof has been accepted of good character, but the prosecution side, they have the right to produce the proof of bad character of that accused in order to reject the proof of good character. So when the accused claims that he is very sincere, honest, remember very carefully, only then the opposite, that is the prosecution, gains the right to produce the proof of bad character against the accused. Then the court is going to accept the proof of such bad characters to demolish the proof of good character. Okay, this is the first point, first exception. Now let us go to the second exception, the proof of bad character, relevancy of proof of bad character. Second one is when the character is the fact in issue in the criminal case. When the character is itself the fact in issue, then the proof of bad character can be produced before the court of law. Now here is a case, R versus Clark, 1817. R versus Clark, 1817. This is the case of a lady approaching the police and giving the complaint against Mr. Clark, saying that he tried to rape me. He tried to rape me. He attempted to rape me. It's a big crime. During the trial, the accusation is that this man, the accused, tried to rape me. Then the accused, he produced the proof that the complainant, the lady, is a loose character person. He produced the proof of prostitution of that lady. So the court accepted the proof of prostitution, and the court held that the lady is having a bad character and she cannot complain about attempt to rape, and the accused was acquitted. Mr. Clark was acquitted because of the production of proof of bad character of the complainant, that was the lady. Another important case, Goody, G-O-O-D-Y, Goody versus Odams Press Limited, 1967. In this case, I think all of you might have heard a wonderful movie of England in those days, 1967, 65, 62, like that. There was a movie called The Great Train Robbery. Kindly watch, and this is related to this case. Kindly watch, all of you. So, and the movie was that in England there was a very famous criminal by name Mr. Goody. Mr. Goody was very famous criminal. He had a big gang, number of gang members. And the whole of London was afraid of this gang. They were ready to cut the nose or the ear for taking the jewel from the females. Everyone were afraid of this gang. One day what happened? They made a big looting of the treasure of the government. A train was carrying the gold of the government. This gang made a plan. They were very courageous. They were very clever as well. They had the skill of engineering. They laid separate railway track so that they can divert the train carrying the treasure, and they were very successful. According to their plan, they diverted the train and then they looted the train. But you know, the criminals, all of them were arrested and the trial was conducted, and all of them were given the conviction. They were in the jail. They came out of the jail after suffering the punishment. Now once again they are free citizens. After suffering the conviction, they were released to the society. Now they are free citizens. After coming out from the jail, there was a newspaper, okay, and the name of the newspaper was called The People. See the name? The People. The name of the newspaper, The People. The newspaper was printed and published by Odam's Press Limited. They are the printers, publishers, editors, okay, of the newspaper. One day, this newspaper printed and published an article on the great train robbery and explained all the incidents, published all the names of the criminals involved in the robbery. So the people had forgotten about it, and now they started reading it. He has also published the photographs of those criminals, and he has also published the conviction and the subsequent release from conviction. So the entire story spread to the entire United Kingdom. At that time, Mr. Goody, the master robber of the great train robbery, he filed the case against the printer, publisher of the newspaper, The People, that is the Odam's Press Limited, and he demands compensation under the head defamation. Now here, the court said, here is the famous gang leader, and now he claims that defamation. So the court said, whatever publication made by the newspaper is true, and there is a proof of conviction, and the proof of conviction proves the bad character of the accused. So we, the court, we are going to accept the proof of bad character of Mr. Goody and his gang. That's why it is not a defamation, it is not a crime, and the press have done their duty. Okay? So kindly watch, it's available in the YouTube, The Great Train Robbery. There is a last case, that is Jones versus Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, 1962. You know, there are pagals, some of them crazies. Some people are crazy for money, crazy for property, crazy for jewel, crazy for fame, etc., etc. But there are people who are very crazy about the females. In this case, there is the accused, Mr. Jones. He is very much fascinated towards young girls, very young girls. He is not interested with the other ladies, but he wants only the young girls, especially the girl guides. All of you know the scouts and guides, scouts for boys and the guide for the young girls. What happened? He had a black Vauxhall car, a very beautiful car. He was the only person having that car in that place, in the town. One day, a girl guide meeting was going on, and one girl guide came out of the meeting in the night around 9:30. She was taking a walk towards her home. At that time, Mr. Jones in his black Vauxhall car comes very close to the girl, talks to her, and he gave the lift to the girl. And the girl was seen lost. Afterwards, she was not found anywhere. But there were eyewitnesses. There were many eyewitnesses that this Mr. Jones have spoken to the girl, the victim, and he gave the lift. As a result, subsequently the police discovered the raped dead body of the girl. She was raped and killed. And he was charged for the rape and killing. And he was saying, no, I am very, very decent man. I am a good person. I am a true person. I never do any such bad things. I never do any crimes. You know, all of us have a history. And the criminals must also have the history. There must be proof of the history of the criminals. So in this case, the police have conducted the investigation about the life of Mr. Jones. They discovered that he was always fascinated towards the girl guides. He has raped many other girl guides in the past. All such proofs were collected. And finally, the court convicted Jones for killing and raping the girl guide. So this is the relevancy of the proof of bad character of the accused. So this much is enough for today. So the question, relevancy of character, section 52 to section 55. Kindly write these points and these cases. I hope definitely you can write in the exam and you can pass your examination. Thank you, students, for today.